Oh, they are right there. They came back and it's absolutely bad. So what else to do? You see on the map and nothing else you can do at this point. So you go to this city. You were there, so you probably very likely forget to save. Now I tell you about the saving feature here. You can save two ways. One is the quick save. You got used to in every other game quick save. You quick save, and if you die, you spawn back at that point. No, not in this game. Bad design decision. The quick save only works if you abandon your game, but you come back and continue from that point. They thought it's enough that you are just in the middle of the dungeon and you continue on progressing. I remember you, this is a JRPG which are famous of the requirement of grinding your levels up, because that's the only way you can get stronger. Now, what happens here? What happens here is you instantly get kidnapped. Meaning, when you step into this town, you don't step into the town, you step into a new dungeon. Yeah, that flying tornado tracing. What this means that you have no access to the world map. The world map on which you can save. Do a real save, which you can reload, even if you die, because your quick save will be erased when you die, when you have a party KO. And I remind you, you cannot run from bosses. And as this is a dungeon, there will be a boss at the end. Great design. And of course, as you never met with this boss, you don't know how strong you have to be. You were warned that it changes its weaknesses, whatever that means. You can figure out that it's elemental weakness, so... But maybe you hope your physical fighters will be strong enough? No, they won't. This is specially designed that you are required to use the elemental weakness of it. That's why you can allow one red mage, because it don't have to use spells. It can just whack with a weapon, which you have one set of elemental damage weapon. Okay, so back to the show. This dungeon takes like, I don't know, you will probably need to do it twice, because even under the best of circumstances you want to loot everything, then for the wasted time means extra random encounters, extra battles. You want to go on back, heal back, and go straight to the boss. You will spend probably more time, because sometimes, most of the times, the opponents spawn two monsters to battle you, and sometimes the two or even three gang up on one of your character, and you can do nothing about it, because there is no order of fighting. It's absolutely just random. You and the opponents are all thrown into a random pool, and the game throws a random, and that's the order. Great design. And your character will die. And you don't have access to resurrection, except, from a spell. There is some special item, but that you can't buy it. Maybe, I don't know if you can just grind it out from random mobs, but that's annoying, so better not do that. So, yeah, that will take 30 to 60 minutes just to try your luck with this, and if the boss does some critical damage and it attacks twice a turn, so if both attacks hits one of your character and one of it is a critical, then say goodbye to your character to deal different elemental damage, appropriate elemental damage to this boss. You probably want mages, and you want a white mage to probably heal up your party. This will be a short fight, by the way, like 4 to 6 turns, so even if your healer dies, well, that happens, I guess. Now, it starts as a neutral, without weakness. Then it casts the barrier, attack, spell, whatever. It does nothing to you, it gives it the weakness. And that's your opportunity. You can hit it with the big time. For this fight, to know what its weakness is, you have to have a character with the job of scholar, and it has to use that ability to detect the weakness. But because the attack order is entirely random, that means it will cast that action, and your party still won't know what weakness is. So you can only set your attack to do big damage in the next turn, after it finally casted this barrier spell. By the way, for the first 2-3 turns, it doesn't cast it. So fuck you, player. And by the way, the Scholar is absolutely pathetic. It has no spells, it has no damaging power. It has only this thing why you have it around. Probably after this you can change it to monk or something. You can start getting the physical or damaging characters later. This is I checked forward, this is the point where your Wizard exclusive club will end, probably. But at this point you need a Scholar, and that will be your fourth character for this fight. So one white mage to heal, use the biggest healing you have access to. And by the way, you can make it casted on the all of the party without extra charges. I don't know why it is this way. Anyway, then the black mage and the fire mage. And the red mage can do either spell or just whack with weapon, because you have a set of elemental weapons. Bloody annoying this game is. By the way, if you are running loan options, there is also a fucking huge elemental damaging battle item which will be consumed, but it does cold damage, and that can be great if you manage to keep alive the Scholar until it sets its weakness to cold. Then the Scholar itself can insta-kill it, because it has 4.5 thousand HP, and the Scholar with this item can do 5,000. Yeah. By the way, the balance here is you have to run a very thin margin. Over-leveling is hard, and if you are under-leveled, you will be one-shotted all the time. So there is this one niche where there is the 2-3 level margin in which you should go through the game, as far as I can see. Now, if you are done with this, you can run around doing absolutely nothing and picking up some quest. But then you are shaken off. When shaken off this continent, they even tell you both the three you just liberated and some other character also, that when you leave, there is no return. Thank you, goodbye. That's a lie. Instead, you are put on this void, and finally you see what the scope of your actual quest is. You go to your second space airship, but then you remember you have a map button, and then you can see where you are supposed to go. And yes, go from the smallest to the biggest. There is actually just a small one and a big one and a middle-sized one which has nothing on it. So you go to the small one and you get a quest to bring the character from there to the other place. You say, good, fine. You go there. It's a dungeon, you expect some. You don't really expect a boss. Let's face it. Because what time spent since you fought the last boss? Nothing. There was nothing to do since the previous boss. It's like a joke. I see. No, then you will get here. You will go in and you will get the new set of jobs. But it feels like I didn't have time to develop the previous ones. I was still stuck as mages. I had no time to experiment with anything. So what am I supposed to do here? Why am I here? Why am I getting this? Why am I getting this fucking huge boss on my head? And what was I supposed to grind upon? You know? I just beat the previous boss. And between all previous bosses, there were some dungeons where you just passed through, or there were locations to pass the area between. So you got some XP. By the way, this game doesn't tell you even the brief stuff about your jobs, the first set of jobs, until the Dwarf Islands. That's a fucking joke. And it doesn't even tell even them what's the difference between your character level and job level. Even the manual, which I digged out from the internet, don't tell you. It has some vague hints that your job things will perform better. Thanks, that was a big help. I could use a chart, what to expect, what stats I will have, and how strong my spells will be, and all those abilities I get, hopefully. So, I said this game is not bad, it's just mediocre. So don't jump on the hype train. Final Fantasy is not that great of a franchise. It's just mediocre. Maybe some games got good by today's standards. I mean, back then, obviously, the first Final Fantasy was big hitty, at least in Japan. I saw the documentary about it. Yeah, Japan was like, had no access to computer video games. So they had Super Mario, where we had Warcraft. So yeah, there was a difference. So at least I gave you how to get through optimally through the early game. You got through the first 3 crystals. That's 3/5 of the game. 3/5. Like 60% or something like that. That's a joke. But yeah, sure. By the way, there is one, it's obligatory to mention, I don't know when it comes. Later, your entire party will have to be level 1 Dragoon to get rid of some boss with some flying griffon thing. Who cares? But it seems kinda this Heinz boss who tried to rule from this 3 tornado thing is the point where you are finally freed up from the limitations and you can start experimenting with the job system. Until then, stay mages. 1 white mage, 1 black mage, 1 red mage, and another red mage who becomes a scholar, and then becomes a monk, probably. I don't know, maybe you want to switch your red mage to a knight if you want more physical power. That seems like a good idea. I'm just telling you. But yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you about Final Fantasy 3, at least for the moment.